Paul wiped the grease from his hands, staring at the holographic advertisement that flickered above his workbench. Need a partner for the Merchant's Gala? Temporary companionship services available. He laughed bitterly. 3 years since the accident. 3 years since he'd lost everything. His ship, his crew, his faith in the stars themselves. The garage on Station Kepler 9 was barely profitable. Human mechanics were a dying breed in a galaxy, where synthetic intelligences could diagnose engine problems in nanoseconds. But Paul had something the AIs didn't: intuition. He could feel when a fusion core was about to fail, sense the rhythm of a healthy hyperdrive. It kept him fed, if barely. The chime at the entrance pulled him from his thoughts. Paul looked up and froze. She stood in the doorway like something from ancient Earth mythology. Scales that shimmered iridescent green and gold, catching the station's artificial light. A draconid. Her species was rare this far from the Scorpius arm, and she carried herself with the kind of grace that spoke of nobility. Or danger. You are Paul Chen? Her voice resonated, almost musical. Depends who's asking. He set down his tools, suddenly aware of how shabby his workspace looked. My name is Amanda. She stepped inside, her tail swishing behind her, careful not to knock over his carefully organized parts. I need a ship repaired. They say you're the best human mechanic in 3 sectors. Paul snorted. I'm the only human mechanic in 3 sectors. What's wrong with your ship? The hyperdrive oscillator is malfunctioning. I've taken it to 5 different repair stations, 2 AI facilities, 3 organic mechanics. None could fix it, he raised an eyebrow. And you think I can? Amanda's golden eyes met his. No, but I'm desperate. There was something in her voice, a vulnerability that didn't match her imposing presence. Paul found himself nodding. Let me take a look. The ship was a beauty, a Draconid Ranger-class vessel, all sleek curves and elegant engineering. Paul spent 2 hours in the engine room, running diagnostics, listening to the hyperdrive's subtle harmonics. The problem revealed itself like a whisper, a phase variance in the quantum coupling so minute that standard scanners would miss it entirely. It's fixable, he said, emerging from the engine room, but it'll take a week, maybe more. And I need specialized parts. Amanda's shoulders sagged with relief. Then her expression hardened. How much? 20,000 credits. Parts alone cost 18. She was silent for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was strained. I have 20,000 credits total. I need the rest for what comes after. Paul studied her. There was a story there, written in the tension of her stance. What comes after? The Merchant's Gala on Nova Station. I have to attend. There's someone I must meet, someone who has information about my sister. Her claws flexed unconsciously. She disappeared 6 months ago. This is my only lead. The gala? Paul's stomach twisted. He'd received an invitation himself, a courtesy extended to all registered ship owners, even ones who'd lost their vessels. That's in 8 days. I know. Amanda looked away. I'll find another mechanic. Thank you for... Wait. The word came out before Paul could stop himself. He thought of his own sister, lost in the collapse. He thought of the empty years since. I'll fix your ship, and I need a date to the gala. She turned back, confusion clear on her reptilian features. 20,000 credits, Paul continued, his heart hammering. You be my companion for the week. Help me look respectable at this damn party, and I fix your ship. Deal? Amanda's eyes narrowed. Why would you do this? Because I'm tired of being alone. And because, he gestured at the ship, because anyone who'd cross half the galaxy for family deserves a chance. The week that followed changed everything. Amanda stayed in the small apartment above his garage. She helped in the workshop, her strength useful for heavy components, her quick mind grasping mechanical concepts faster than any apprentice he'd trained. They talked during long repair sessions about Earth, about Draconis Prime, about the weight of loss. Humans are strange, she said on the 3rd day, watching him calibrate the oscillator with minute precision. Your species was considered weak when you joined the galactic community. Too emotional, too impulsive, Paul smiled. And you're the only one who could fix this. The AIs were too logical, too rigid. The other organics didn't trust their instincts. She tilted her head. You felt the problem, didn't you? More than analyzed it. Yeah. He'd never tried to explain it before. My sister used to say I listened with my heart as much as my head. Thought it made me a better engineer. She was right. Amanda's voice softened. I'm sorry you lost her. I'm sorry about yours, but we'll find her. I promise. On the 6th day, the ship purred to life, hyperdrive humming in perfect harmony. Amanda tested every system, disbelief written across her features. When she emerged, there were tears in her golden eyes. You did it. Paul, you actually did it. He shrugged, suddenly embarrassed. Just doing my job. No. She crossed the distance between them, placed a scaled hand on his shoulder. The gesture was intimate for her species, a sign of deep respect. You gave me hope. I'd forgotten what that felt like. Paul realized he'd forgotten too. This week, fixing her ship, sharing meals, laughing at her stories about Draconid honor customs, he'd felt alive again. The galaxy seemed smaller, less hostile, full of possibilities. At the Merchant's Gala, they drew stares. A scarred human mechanic in borrowed formal wear, and a Draconid warrior woman made an unusual pair. But Paul didn't care. Amanda moved through the crowd with purpose, her eyes scanning for her contact. When she found him, a nervous Centaurian merchant with information about illegal mining operations near the Outer Rim, Paul stood beside her, solid and certain. The merchant revealed what he knew. Amanda's sister was alive, held by pirates who needed a Draconid's strength for their operations. There was a location, coordinates, a chance. As they left the station together, Amanda's ship ready for the journey ahead, she turned to Paul. Come with me. What? I need a mechanic and I need a friend. Her eyes held something more than gratitude. This ship feels empty without you. Paul thought of his dying garage, his lonely years. He thought of the week just past, the best week he'd had since the collapse. The galaxy stretched before them, dangerous and vast and full of lost souls who needed finding. 20,000 credits, he said with a grin, plus hazard pay. Amanda laughed, the sound like music. Deal. As they jumped to hyperspace, Paul realized the dragon woman hadn't just given him work. She'd given him something far more valuable, a reason to believe the universe still held wonders worth fighting for. And sometimes, that made all the difference.